All right, I'm going to show you how to make a bath tray and why I made certain decisions. This is a really good thing to learn for your spouse or for gifts. So first I took this piece of ambrosia maple. I think it's about 7 inches in width. It's 4/4, so it's 1 inch thick. And I measured 36 inches. That width seems to take care of most bathtubs. So here I'm using my router with this board and using my fingers to stop it at certain points. And what I'm going to do is cut all the way through for a handle, and well, it's really for a towel, to hang a towel through this. And so you have to start shallow and then you just dig down deeper and deeper. Now what I realized while I was doing this is that I need to shut it off. It's running whenever I plunge it, but I shut it off before lifting it so that I don't risk it, risk the chance of it cutting where I don't want it to cut and spinning out of control. And so what I'll do is I'll go as deep as I can on one side, and then in a little bit you'll see me flip it over and start shallow again and keep plunging until the two meet. So of course I'm marking where that is so that I can flip it around and hit the same spot. You'll see here it's not exactly square. So that was square, but then when I realized to line up my two lines, it wasn't perfectly square. And so that's okay. It's really not that noticeable. I should have done better for that first side, but I think it looks good in the end. And woodworking is one of those things where you judge yourself and you just get better every time. Every time you realize you made a mistake, then you could just be better next time. So this is really fun and satisfying to start plunging on the back side, and here this cut is when it will go all the way through, and it's really clean. There you go. I've done it before with a Forstner bit, 2 Forstner bits, and then trying to connect it with a jigsaw. That was really hard. Did not look as clean as that did. Now here I'm just finding the middle of it. Now this is going to be a groove to put your phone or an iPad. And so just finding that center part to do this groove. This groove will not go all the way through, and this groove will not get rounded out like other parts. Again, I'm using a board to make sure that it looks good. It's nice and straight. It would be about impossible to do this freehand if you've ever used a router. So there's the first cut, again starting shallow, and then I just go as deep as I think I should, to the point where I think it will hold a phone or an iPad standing straight up. Not quite straight up, but slanted. So it looks like there I may have dropped it a little too fast, too fast. It was more difficult, but it ended up looking good. So now I'm making the points. These are wine glass holders. So all it is a hole and a line for the stem of the wine glass to go through. And so what I learned with these paddle bits is you drill down until the point sticks out the other side. You flip your board and then you start cutting from that side. That way you avoid tear out. If you've just used a paddle bit and gone all the way through, you get some tear out. So that part's done. You'll see this build is really simple. It doesn't take that much. There's the lines just to make that opening for the stem of the wine glass. Now the reason why I put it on both sides is because this is a birthday present for someone, and I do know I asked her and asked how her tub was oriented and what side was the wall of the tub, what side was clear when she was laying down, so I know where to put it. But I thought, if she moves later, gets a different tub later, it might be oriented differently, so I put a wine glass holder on both sides. So if she gets a different tub later, she'll be able to use this bath tray. So I recommend that. I think that's just wise. Now I have made a bath tray for someone, and I just didn't think they were going to move. I thought they were in their forever home, so I made it oriented toward the tub they had at the moment. So right now I'm rounding over everything except for that slot in the middle. And I love this step because it just adds so much to the board. You can really see how beautiful it is. And again, this is a simple build, but it just makes it look really nice doing the round over. This is a 1/4 inch round over bit. Now I'm sanding, and I usually start at 80 grit, but I started with 60 grit here because I've got the stamp and that green. If you saw the green at the edge of that board, I'm sanding right now, and then you've got the stamp from the hardwood store telling me what kind of wood it is, the thickness, the length, the width. And then there's also, ink marks. There's an ink mark on the back that I need to sand. So that's why I started at such a low grit. But then I went to 80 once I'm done with this. And I'm only showing you 60. I'm not going to show you all the sanding, but I went 60, 80, 120, I think 150, 240. I know you're not supposed to jump more than 50% in grit, but I ended up buying a packet of sandpaper from Amazon, and it went from 150 to 240, but it's worked out well. Did a little extra sanding in those holes. Now I'm using Howard's Butcher Block Conditioner. I love this stuff, so I've been talking a lot about it more lately. I was thinking about polyurethane, but man, to me polyurethane is such a pain because so many coats, sanding in between coats. I like the feel of this. This is, beeswax, carnauba wax, and mineral oil, and just work it into everything. Got my paper towels under there because, those horses can be dirty. So what I do is I just cover it thick. I let this sit for hours, and then I eventually came back. I didn't show it in this video, but I just come back and, wipe off the excess with a paper towel and try to rub it in more. So I love the way this looks. Hey, give me some advice. Do you see anything that you would have done differently? That's the great thing about YouTube is there's a lot of constructive criticism, and I've really enjoyed it. Makes me a better woodworker. People have given me great ideas. And what do you think of this piece of ambrosia maple? I love it.